Welcome back to Deadball TV, everybody. We got another edition of Premier League recap for you guys here today. Let us know down below in the comments, what did you learn from match day 7? Because I learned several things. I hope Connor learned several things. Let's talk about it together and have a conversation. Maybe we learned nothing. We're also about to figure that out as well. If you guys like Premier League content, though, make sure you hit subscribe and drop a like on the video if you could. Now, I'm going to piss off a bunch of people with my first one, but that's because I'm a little upset because I'm a Spurs fan. My biggest takeaway is that the only difference between Spurs and Wolves is Spurs have better players. If you look at how these teams play, both of them very high chance creation, both of them very wasteful, both of them pretty shockingly poor defensively, and both of them cannot defend a lead to save their goddamn lives. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Spurs were up 2-0 at Brighton at halftime before we decided to throw the game. And Brighton came back and ended up winning 3-2. And the worst part, bro, is I switched off the game at halftime to watch the Sevilla derby. And then I checked FootMob and it was 2-2. And I was like, this is not happening.
You were like, how?
Switched back.
Yep.
Saw the winner for Brighton and said, I'm done. I'm done. Absolute disaster class.
My one counter to that is that actually, I think I literally just talked myself out of that because my big talking point for Tottenham is that their main issue, my takeaway is that their issue is their defense. They're solid everywhere else. Their defense is shite. And you know whose fault it is?
Shite.
You know whose fault it is?
Is it Postecoglou's fault?
It's Big Ange's fault. And I was about to say that Tottenham have a better coach in Postecoglou, which I agree with. But his coaching style is causing them to hemorrhage goals to their own detriment. I don't know what to say outside of Cuti Romero's a good player. Van de Ven is a good player. Udogi is a good player. Joao Pedro, God, dude, I can't get it together. Pedro Porro is a good player. The fact that they are conceding like this, I believe, and I'm going to try and draw a storyline here. You're missing Van de Ven or you're missing Romero from red cards. It's very hard to get the Spurs backline together on the pitch. I mean, it feels like Crystal Palace offense last year. You know, it's tough to get the full Tottenham defense on the pitch. And they looked really, really good to start the year last year. I think they were the best defense of the Premier League for probably, like 6 game weeks or something like that.
We had the best record. I don't know if it was defense.
Right. You had the best record. Your defense looked really good. I think that was largely in part to you guys holding it down back there. And I think the same thing will happen if they can figure it out. But what I think is going on is that Ainge is prioritizing the offense to a fault, meaning that these guys don't have contingency plans for a lot of these counterattacks. They don't have contingency plans or the reps or the pressure or the focus that is necessary to handle these situations, meaning that Big Ainge likes to focus on the offense. That's what he's going for, right? Whenever he gets the full lineup at the back, he says, okay, you guys handle it. He wants to delegate that. You need somebody hands-on. You got to get a defensive coordinator. Go get, what's his name? Mike Ditka. Call Mike Ditka in here. Get him to figure out the Tottenham defense, all right? I'm talking old school vintage Chicago Bears defense. Get him in there. What you need is you need somebody like Dennis Rodman to come in and fix everything. Not even, because Dennis Rodman came into the Bulls and there was a personnel issue, right? It's not a personnel issue here. I'm saying that the talent is back there. It's good. Look at them. It's not personal mistakes. They're just unsure as to who they're marking. Go watch the goals today. They're not bad. They don't give these guys a lot of space. It is just poor formation. They're like trying to keep the line when they should be man marking, or they're man marking when they should be trying to keep the line. You just got to get on the same page here. And I think that is a coaching issue.
It's 100% a coaching issue. And I think both Gary O'Neill and Postecoglou, they're like married to this approach to football, and it's destroying both teams.
Yeah.
Like, I think the difference is that Wolves' backline is awful, I would
Yeah.
say, and
Yeah, yeah,
ours
yeah.
is good. That's the difference, is we shouldn't be as bad, but we're the exact fucking same, and I'm tired of watching this bullshit over and over and over again. Even when we have a lead, we're probably the least intimidating good team in Europe, period. Like, nobody's afraid if you're down 1-0 or 2-0 to Spurs, much like Wolves. I mean, but Wolves aren't supposed to have that same aura. It's like, oh, who cares? Like, they're gonna keep attacking. We're gonna find space. And even though individually we're good, there's a lot of errors today. Bentancur was absolute trash on the second goal. Van de Ven gets spun so hard. Udogie was a fraud in the second half. Like, these guys were making mistakes. Couto Romero completely falls asleep for the Welbeck goal. I don't
Yeah.
know who he's looking at. Like Romero is assuming that Bentancur is going to block the cross. You cannot assume that as a center back. You have to stay on your marker all 24/7, and he doesn't. He switches off, and it's like it is Postacoglu, but also like the players just switch off. They switch off, and my takeaway, we're the
Look,
same. We're a high flying offense. We just score more goals than Wolves. That's why
yeah.
we're doing better than them because we have better players
And I
outside
will
of
I will
Team
say,
of Werner.
I do think that yeah, he's a nightmare. I do think that there's something to be said for wanting to trust your players, but that's where I think that the coach has to come in and be like, "Look, don't expect that that's going to happen. Do not. You cannot fall asleep here. There has to be some sort of, recompense for what's happening out here, right? We're seeing a lot of
Yes.
switches in the offense, and it seems to be working. James Madison's looking to find himself. I think he's poised for a really
Yeah,
good
he's
bit
been
of
great.
form here, as well as Solanke. I mean, dude's dishing out assists now.
Mhm.
Let's see it. Let's see what happens here, right? Yeah, we just gotta get that
Yeah.
figured out because it's not fair. It's not fair for that. And frankly, I'm losing my fantasy game this weekend because James Madison should have had another one. Should have had another. Maybe the bonus points come in and save me, but the guy that I'm playing has Ait Nuri on the bench with 9, and he's got an auto sub. So I'm
Dude, I don't
terrified.
know. I mean, the offense is good. We're scoring 2 goals a game. Defense ain't great.
Solid. Can I talk to
Ye
you about a team that is also producing consistently, or do you want to keep talking about
Sure.
this?
No,
Okay.
I'm tired of talking about Spurs.
Okay. Just before we freak out, because I know the Browns are doing really badly today too. So I don't want to trigger you.
I've already
What I
stopped
want
watching this season.
Yeah, yeah, Josh Josh is the same. He's
My
like, "I'm
entire
watching the
family's done.
Texans on the
Yeah.
couch." Yeah, we're all done selling. Um, Nick Chubb's coming back soon though, so, big ups. Just in time to inspire hope before the real collapse, before the playoffs. Anyway, so what I was going to say is there's a team out here that is also scoring consistently, but it's not exactly to the clip that, the Spurs are, and that's gonna be Ipswich Town. Now, I don't really know what
Okay.
I want to say about Ipswich Town, but there is something happening here that we have to talk about. Okay, if you average out their goal or the goals that they've scored in the last 5 games, they're going out to 1 goal a game. And I think I wasn't able to get some of their earlier ones this season. I just didn't have time. But going back, if they don't score in the game before, they score 2 in the next game, no matter what. This is across all competitions. And I think through the Premier League, it might be an even better record. They are scoring 1 goal a game consistently. They don't care who you are. They don't care what sort of system you're working. There is a goal in this game. Always is what it feels like. And
Yeah.
I don't know what to attribute that to. I think that they're just a pretty consistent put together team. And Liam Delap is he's shaping up to be one of the best transfers
Yeah, he's
maybe
been
in
balling
Ipswich
again.
history. He's been balling. He's been
Yeah,
balling. What's going
he's
on
been
with all
balling.
these city academy players? We're just selling them and they're like, let's do this thing. Maybe it is time for Pep to leave. No, that's crazy.
I think he's finished. Yeah.
Y'all gonna clown me in the comments, but
He's
anyway,
lost it, clearly.
what I want to know about this week is with a team that is as consistently delivering as Ipswich. The question that I had was what went right for West Ham for them to score 4 because that is out of character for them.
It is the first time under Lopetegui they've scored more than 2 goals.
Now, why do we think that happened?
I think it's a case of I didn't get to watch much of the game, but I think it's a case of
Me either, for
West
the record.
Ham for probably the first goddamn time this season not playing down or not playing down, not underperforming is how I
Yeah.
should say. They're not playing down to anybody. They're just individually like nobody's really on form. And I think finally against a relegation favored side in Ipswich, they were able to put it together. But they play Spurs next, West Ham. I need more than a good win against Ipswich
Yep.
before I heap any praise on the Hammers because Ipswich, while they've been solid, I mean they don't win games. That's the problem. I think
Yes.
they're in the relegation zone right now. Are they not? No, they're
I'm
right
looking
above it. They have 4
right above.
points. They're in 17th, 1 point above Crystal Palace. You
That's gonna
got to
be a
think over the
tough.
long run. Palace stay up. You got to think over the long run.
You think over the long run, I don't here's my thing. I think that Ipswich can stay up. My one issue with them is I don't know who goes down. I don't know who goes down in place of them because Leicester's looking more and more stubborn as the weeks go on, you know?
Yeah.
They're looking like I mean, they're proving like we are a Premier League caliber team.
Maybe it's Manchester
Um,
United.
maybe it's Manchester United, yeah.
It might be their season. I think if James Justin or Buenanote go out, then Leicester go down. But if
Yeah.
those 2 guys can stay healthy, they're fine. One of my takeaways from this week is, bro, Everton, they're gonna be fine.
Everton's gonna be fine.
They're gonna
That's
be
what it's looking
fine.
like. Yeah.
It's gonna be ugly, but they're gonna be fine. Like they just
Yeah.
have enough grit. There's enough English pub mentality in this team to survive.
There's enough banter.
No, there's enough just like booze consumption.
The vibes are good enough over there.
There's enough willingness to squab that they'll just stay up.
They're good crack. They've got the good
Yeah.
crack. The crack's gonna carry 'em.
That is a big point for them against Newcastle at home. And I love that
That
Anthony
is a
Gordon
massive
missed the
point.
pen. That was just poetic as
Yeah.
hell. I loved it. Freaking awesome. They play Ipswich next. So we'll have to see after the international break if our predictions are right. Because if Ipswich win that game, oh shit. Well, then I guess I'm on fraud watch. If
Now we're having a
Everton win,
conversation. Yeah.
then okay, Toffee's clear of relegation. And if it's a draw, then we learn nothing. So check back
No,
in
that will be an
on
interesting
October
game
19th.
because we're saying that that Ipswich is going to score regardless, right? And
Yeah.
with Sean Dyche, it's looking like it's going to be one goal and that's it, right? So unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Really, the difference maker here will be can Everton score? Can Dwight McNeil pull a result out of nothing?
Team of the season right now. Crazy,
Yeah.
dude. Balling, man. Like I checked it out, his Instagram because I was trying to put him in the thumbnail. Spoiler, he probably will be in the thumbnail this week. Dude, he has how many followers do you think he has on Instagram?
20K?
Jesus Christ. Okay, that's crazy. No, he has 90K.
Okay. That's still crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like that's like Everton U23
Yeah.
follower count right there. Not
He's
their
hitting
best player.
he's hitting 1,000,000 by the end of the season.
I
Do you
don't
think?
I don't know.
Or a few hundred
I
K at least.
dude, if somebody doesn't at least put in a $35 million bid for him, like I've lost faith in
Yeah.
the recruitment system in the Prem.
Yeah.
It is crazy. I will say, if Everton sell him and Branthwaite, they're definitely going down though.
Yeah.
Like it's done right there. So don't sell him. When the offer comes in, reject it. But I still want to see the offer come in regardless.
Yeah, we wanna have our cake and eat it too here.
Yeah. I got another takeaway from this week. And
Alright,
this
get
is kind of
after
a
it.
takeaway from this season.
Mhm.
I think Nottingham Forest are officially the Prem party poopers this year.
Yeah? Tell me why.
I think they have become the perfect embodiment, for better or for worse, of Nuno Espirito Santo ball. They don't really make a lot of mistakes, and they don't really do anything particularly exciting. and I believe they're 10th in the table, which is about goddamn right. If you look at some of the stats, fourth best expected goals allowed in the Prem, bare like 7.6 in 7 games. The only teams better than them are Villa, Liverpool, and Arsenal. In terms of actual goals allowed, they're second in the league. Only Liverpool is better. And on the flip side, they have scored 7 goals in 7 games, which is 15th in the Prem. So this is peak bald Nuno ball right here. And I say party poopers, not just because of the style of football. By the way, Chris Wood been going off, but they've gotten some big results in just the first 7 games. They have a 1-1 draw at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea, 2-2 draw against Brighton at the Amex, and they beat Liverpool 1-0 at Anfield. That's crazy.
And they've gotten another draw today.
That's what I said, Chelsea, Stamford Bridge.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you were saying earlier in the season, and I was like, God, they played each other back to back already? Yeah.
No.
No, those are some excellent results. Those are some excellent results. And you know what? I'm going to say the same thing about them that I'm going to say about Chelsea. Chelsea has earned my respect. Chelsea has earned my respect. I think they're irrefutable at this point. And I think Nottingham Forest is very much in the same boat today. The attack that I saw from Chelsea, I haven't seen them lay down. I think I literally texted you that it looked like siege warfare, right? And I understand that Nottingham Forest had the low block going on due to the red card, but you've also got to take into account that, well, I guess you
That it
don't
was a
have
1-1
to.
draw?
But I took into account that one, that it's a 1-1 draw and that the result stands as it was. But I haven't seen Chelsea play with that sort of offensive confidence in a while, right? Unless it's given directly at the hands of Cole Palmer, which today I felt it was much more team ball. I saw Madueke making some really good runs, and you can watch the last video. I don't
He
rate
should
him.
have had multiple.
He should have had multiple. I don't
Yeah.
rate him, but that was the kind of performance that I want to see from him. If you're going to earn at least my respect, right? Okay, you're missing your chances, but you're out there. You're creating. Let's talk about it. It's like a McNeil. Obviously not to his extent. McNeil's, different gravy, but
Well, Manil got no goddamn help.
he got no help. No.
Yeah.
Madueke got nothing but help. That
He
being
has,
said,
yes.
what I'm getting at is those incremental improvements that Chelsea's making. They're not trying the buy one person, fix everything. They found a spark of life with Cole Palmer, and now it's just slight improvements every week. Enzo's looking pretty consistent. Madueke looks better. I really didn't pay that much attention to Sancho. I didn't get to watch as much of him as I would have liked, or I didn't focus on him like I said I would.
Yeah, not too much
But
today.
I will also say that Cucurella did pretty well. Thought he was a pretty solid presence there.
I feel like you're supporting my point more than saying that Chelsea are certified legit, because Chelsea are coming in here hot. You're talking about how their players are playing well, which I agree with. And they had a man advantage, albeit it was only like 15 minutes.
Doesn't matter.
And they're playing
Doesn't
at
matter.
home, and Forest
Yep.
still got the mother effing draw. That's
You're
what
correct.
I'm saying. Like,
No, and hey, same team here. I'm with you 100%. Yes, I can.
I don't know.
can
You
do
were praising
nothing.
Chelsea a little too much. I didn't see you praising
Well, I
Forest.
was, because I've been a Chelsea hater for the last
Mr.
6 weeks,
Lumberjack
and I'm saying that I'm finally
trying to
kind
bring
of
him
buying
down.
into this. Trying to bring down Nottingham Forest.
You hate Fangone Forest.
Henry V brought down. I almost said Fangorn. Henry V brought down Nottingham Forest to build his ships to invade France. All right, Nottingham Forest has been gone. That being said,
No, they're back, bro.
I'm seeing seedlings here, looking to be growing into a very strong oak here.
They really are. They're turning into the Redwoods this season.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Now, what do you think it takes for them to reach the next level? Like, what's the next step that they have to take? What's the next step in the right direction?
Well, the only next step is to further optimize Nuno Ball. And I
Okay.
think the only thing that could further optimize Nuno Ball is maybe you upgrade one of the wingers, or
But they
maybe a
got
supporting
personnel out the
midfielder.
ass.
I guess what I'm saying is this is it.
This is it.
They will not get better. They can't
Well,
get better.
you know what? They've got a solid run of games with this. They've got Crystal Palace. That's 3 points. They've got Leicester City, West Ham, and then a Newcastle. If you take 6 points from Crystal Palace, Leicester, West Ham, I think Newcastle's looking very winnable. And your
Yeah,
biggest opposition is Arsenal, November 23rd, and then Man City, December
that could
4th.
be a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I Forest are good. I wouldn't recommend to my loved ones that they watch them, but
Yeah.
they have a good system.
The
I don't know how
system's good.
much more efficient the system can be given the players they have, unless they're going to look at somebody like you can't really upgrade Morgan Gibbs White. You could upgrade Chris Wood, but why would you? He's the
Yeah.
perfect center forward for this offense. They have great center backs for what they're trying to do. Olaina is just a Nuno Espirito Santo fullback created in a lab. Maybe you upgrade. Oh, what's the guy's name? Moreno, the left back. He's probably upgradable, I would
Okay.
say. But there ain't much. There ain't much.
There ain't much else.
There ain't much
You could
else.
bring Gio Reyna
Um,
in.
well, that didn't work last season. I don't think it's going to work now.
I
Why don't you
know.
bring us into our next takeaway here?
Our
Plus,
next
he's injured
takeaway
again.
here, and this one's just kind of an I told you so. Just kind of want to pat ourselves on the back now. Everybody's talking about Liverpool. You seeing that? Do you have the same algorithm that I do?
I've seen it, but almost in a disrespectful way.
Really?
Yeah.
I was looking at an
All I've
article.
seen is screenshots of their future fixtures, which we also said. And they've said, like, if Liverpool do well here, then yeah.
Oh no, I've already seen 2 articles on FUTMob, and then I think the Premier League app talking about what's going right at Liverpool. And I was like, interesting. Just like we said, right when the Cole Palmer hype and all those articles kind of run their course, we start talking about Liverpool. Coincidentally, it's on the week that Chelsea gets a draw. I'm just saying. I feel like a prophet sometimes.
No, it's a good win for them. I know it was just 1-0, but Crystal Palace has kind of been that bogey team at times for Liverpool, and you did it away from home. Gakpo got the winner, I think. Good win for Liverpool. Good
Good
win
win
for
for Liverpool.
Liverpool.
No, it was Jota.
Oh,
But
it was Jota? Okay.
Gakpo got player of the match.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Gakpo got the assist.
Oh, okay. There we go. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
I'm not
they're mad solid right now.
I'm not
Mad
blown away by
solid.
this win, but I just wanted to pat ourselves on the back because we've been saying that they're right there.
I got another takeaway,
Give me a takeaway.
and this is kind of a hot take / takeaway. It's about a team we already touched on earlier. Sacking Gary O'Neill will not fix Wolves, and let me tell you why.
Tell me why.
They don't need a new manager. They just need Gary O'Neill to change things. Because when I watch Wolves, it is clearly evident that the players are still playing for him. Like, they're still fighting despite conceding out the ass. By the way, they lost 5-3 to Brentford.
Yeah,
At Brentford. Last
literally.
season, they won this match 4-1. So that just shows you how the fall has been so far for Wolverhampton. So I think they keep Gary O'Neill. He's just got to sit down with the players and his technical staff and be like, lads, we're going 5-3-2 the rest of the year. Period. Until we get at least 3 wins, and then we can kind of go back to this more attacking philosophy. Because they're just conceding too much. But I'm going to defend Gary O'Neill, and then I see more individual mistakes than I do system problems. Like, the system problem is they just need a third CB, in my opinion. But, like, for example, Brentford score again in the second minute of this match. Nathan Collins basically just walks into the box and has a free header. Later in the game, Mario Lemina tackles Nathan Collins in the box, just gives away a pen for fun. That one CB, Totti, I think his name was, he was absolute shit against Brentford. I can't remember which goal he was so painfully responsible for. I think it was the second one. Um, I look at the players and I'm like, bro, these guys are sorry. These are sorry defenders. If you're gonna play Eight Nori, play him as a winger and put somebody else behind him to do the actual defending. Or go 5-3-2 and play him as that wing back. And also, who's gonna replace Gary O'Neill? Gareth Southgate?
Yeah, who are you gonna bring in? No, 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 absolutely not.
I mean, Sam Allardyce? I don't know.
Yeah,
Do you
you're gonna
just
completely revamp the personality of this Wolves team. I'll tell you how to
yeah,
make things worse. Do that.
yeah.
Completely flip the script on the players. Change everybody's job priorities. That'll go well, I'm sure. Yeah, no,
I don't
unreasonable.
see I don't they're conceding 3 goals a game, dude. It's awful.
Yeah,
You cannot stay up in the Prem if you're conceding that much.
no. Okay, I got
Brentford
a
cooked, though.
question. Brentford cooked. Brentford cooked. Ivan Tony who? Ivan Tony who?
That man is actually irrelevant in the world of football now. It's
Yep,
crazy.
yep. What an idiot. What an idiot. What an idiot.
Yeah. It's hard to
Wow.
feel bad. I don't feel bad,
It's hard to
actually.
feel bad. I mean, like I don't think I've seen a collapse like this since what, like Lukaku leaving, having to go back to Italy to resurrect his career every other year,
Probably.
biannually. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah,
Anyway,
Lukaku's played for every Big 6 Italy club. It's insane.
yeah. It is insane. I don't know. The man has just made his rounds over there. It's impressive. He's like
Yeah.
Higuain.
Yeah, he is.
Um, okay. My last takeaway here is that I think we said it last week that Fulham are the real deal, but I think a lot of that had been, at least in my mind, attributed to how they were playing in regards to the midfield and their defense, right? With Jedi playing really just locked down in the left. I think he is, if it's not clear now, it's at least a fighter's chance to argue that he's the best left back in the Prem. Making a case
Correct.
for team of the season. Dude is just fantastic. I mean, yeah, just I can't say enough good things about him. But he's not the person that I wanted to bring up. I want to know what your opinion is on Raul Jimenez. How sustainable is this? How consistent do you think he can be over the year? He got an assist today, which to me, that's like the metric. Like, okay, in addition to scoring goals and using those natural instincts, you also know what's going on in the system. You also know how to contribute when you are not able to put goals away. So I'm starting to look at this with a clear head and say, is this something that I need to take seriously?
I'm glad you asked that because my final takeaway is that Raul Jimenez is back.
Okay.
So if I'm
God,
answering your
I
question
really am a
there,
prophet. I'm a prophet. I just felt it. I felt a change in the wind.
dude, he's been crazy this month. That assist is probably assist of the season so far. The back heel to Pereira, really, really good. I just think I think Fulham, it's kind of a two-part thing. Fulham are very good right now.
Yep.
Very, very good. If Adama Traore puts away that one-on-one chance he had against City, they probably would have gotten points in that game.
Yep.
But and they kind of lose valiantly 3-2 against City, and they looked good pretty much the whole match. So they're Forest are kind of my party poopers. Fulham are right there. Like nobody wants to play Fulham away right now. That's a
No.
pain in the ass fixture.
Nope.
And I think Jimenez, it's I think he's earned people getting excited again about him. Like of course I'm nervous about it because we haven't seen P. Jimenez for years now since he was at Wolves.
Since Wolves.
But
Early
this past
Wolves.
month I'm nominated for Player of the Month. You gotta say that dude looks like he's back. And I like what you say. He's influenced the game in multiple ways. Fulham fans seem to be fully on the Raul Jimenez bandwagon. I don't know if you check their Instagram, but all their comments are like, "We cannot start." What's the other guy's name? Not Munir. I always forget his name. The backup striker is Brazilian, Muniz. They're like, "Yeah, we got to start Raul over Muniz the rest of the season." So yeah, it's good. It's great to see. I mean, biggest loser from this week in the Prem, Santi Jimenez, maybe, because
Yeah.
Raul definitely going to be the starter for Mexico coming up here. And, maybe he's earned that. I feel like the fan base kind of turned away from him because of his age, because of the injury, because of he'll never be the same. It's kind of like the Falcao syndrome where it's like the injury was so bad that mentally you're just gone. And he's kind of having a bit of a renaissance. We're seeing a bit of a James Rodriguez here. So James Rodriguez balled out of the Copa America. Can Raul Jimenez go back to Mexico and ball out for El Tri? Probably.
Dude, you can
I
only
hope
hope.
so.
You can only hope. I've always been a Jimenez fan. I've always been a Jimenez. Go back into the deep lore of Deadball, you'll see me singing his praises. It took me a long time to sell on him. Yeah, he's just fun to watch, and it's a nice story.
He
It's a
is fun
great
to watch.
storyline, and it's good to see him. The last thing I'll say about this Fulham side before I'm sure we have to break is it's going well when Smith Rowe is riding the bench. When Smith Rowe this season is riding the bench, people are talking about this guy, and he can't get game time unless it's off the bench. First man in, right? Sixth man of the year, but 12th man of the year, what have you. You just know something's going right. We've got a lot to take away from this Prem season. It seems like we have very few teams who are doing poorly and quite a few teams that are finding a renaissance, who are finding their footing. And
Yeah.
it's really nice to see.
Yeah, we have like 3 ass teams, and then the rest of the division is quite competitive.
Yeah. This
I'll
might
end the
be the best that
video.
I've seen the Prem in a long time.
I feel that in a way without going on a long tangent because I do have to bounce for the Atleti game, but I agree with you, but it also bothers me. I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like as I've been watching a lot of these teams, sometimes I literally cannot tell the difference between what the tactics are from these teams. It's
Yeah.
like they're doing the
Okay.
same thing. Everybody's just like trying to play super fast. Midfield basically doesn't exist for most of the teams outside of like the big four that kind of monopolize possession. And it's just like go, 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 go. And it's really hard to watch them and be like, oh, this center back is better than this center back because of blah. Or this eight midfielder is better than this box to box because of blah. Because I just feel like I'm like, even Brighton this year, dude, I'm struggling to see the difference between this new manager and De Zerbi all the time. So I'm like, it kind of looks the fucking same. So I'm like, maybe I just can't read the game. Fair enough. I watch a lot. It's hard to, digest stuff. But, I watch Spurs the most. And I watch Wolves. And I'm like, bro, they kind of look like Spurs. They can't possess the ball as well because they don't have the players. They kind of
Yeah.
play like Spurs, and then you
Different
have like teams
marketing.
like Fulham and Forest. They kind of play that similar, a similar brand of ball. And it's like, I feel like maybe this is part of the Pep killed football type thing, but it's like a lot of teams are approaching the Prem the same way.
Yeah.
At least that's been my kind of a big takeaway from this team or from the season overall versus La Liga. I feel like there's a lot of more distinct strategies and play styles. With the Prem, it's like kind of blended together in my head.
Mm. I think I'm right there with you. I think I understand where you're coming from. I don't have much more to add on to that. You said it pretty perfectly. But yeah, I think I'm with you there.
Curious if other people think so. It's going to be
Yeah.
hard to answer that question if you don't watch a bunch of teams. Like if you just watch one team, then you might not realize that other teams play similarly, to yours. But being forced to watch a bunch of different games by doing this podcast, I'm like, oh yeah, this is. I feel like I'm watching the same game. It's like every Everton game feels like the last Everton game. Doesn't matter if they're playing Newcastle or us or Southampton. It just feels like the same game over and over again. So
Yeah.
while it
Yeah.
is exciting, I would like a little more individuality in the Prem this season.
That would be nice. That would be nice. I do kind of like the archetypes. I like that it's sort of simplifying itself.
Yeah, I guess it
It's
depends
interesting.
how I slept the night before. Sometimes I liked
Yeah.
it, sometimes I'm like, "This is ass."
It
So,
depends on what you craving.
depends what I have for breakfast. Which I had yogurt today, so maybe that's why I'm
Yeah, you
irritable?
hungry.
I don't know.
You hungry.
I'm hungry. No, I'm irritable because my team dropped the 2-0 halftime lead. But we're going to end the podcast there, guys. It's time to jump. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to drop it a like. If you're listening on streaming platforms, please give the podcast a 5-star rating. We will be back here after the international break, but during the international break, we're dropping a ton of content. It's kind of our bread and butter here on the channel, so we encourage you to check out all that stuff covering the World Cup qualifiers from all the different federations. We appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.